Hello everyone, my name is Adfa. I am a sociologist. As you know that yesterday, with all pomp and show, with all vigor, I must say, the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking was observed. I must say, a lot of hype given to campaigns and all that. But amid this all, do we even realize the fact that where does it actually evolve? The problem of drugs. Welcome my friends, we have Arfa, we have Wasim Saab, we have Rafia Hassan, and there are a few friends from Africa as well. Friends, when it comes to drug abuse, psychologists may have their own perspective of it. The media experts may have their own perspectives, perceptions rather. But as a student of sociology, let me begin with the fact that family has a role. And with the monstrous dynamics in Indian family and Kashmir family being no exception, I mince no words in saying that our family has changed a lot, because the stakeholders, the decision makers in family have changed. We now have mostly child-centric, children-centric, teen-centric and youth-centric families in Kashmir. The dynamics is there. And we have a certain quantum of disconnect when it comes to family members. Though I agree with the fact that our family orientation is quite different from that of the West, because they have their own set of issues and we have our own. Believe me, if you say drugs and family have no connection, it will be absurd, completely absurd. I am seeing kids, teens rather, who are smoking, and even in our valley of Kashmir, college-going girls who have been found. Not all, not generalizing, but college-going girls even. Not from, I must say, lower status families or the, infamous families, I must say. People coming from well-to-do families, high prestige families, have been found involved in drugs. One, extra disposable income, as time and again I have been saying, extra disposable income available to kids, even to school-going kids. Not to talk of, let alone, college teens. Therefore, family has a role. It's the family that comes at the threshold, that rather may be treated as responsible, given the dynamics in the family itself. I will come to the family again, but let me go to the media. Friends, this is the age of web series. You all will agree with me on this. When it comes to media today, media dynamics today, and how far has media cinematic portrayal of the theater and how stories are being carved out, how they are portrayed, how stories are now viewed, acted. I am not talking of obscenity, but along with the factor of obscenity and someone rightly calling today's web series as semi-porn, smoking, taking drugs, drug abuse, trafficking, it has been well glamorized, pretty glamorized now. You are seeing it. It's not a rocket science, it's not something nanotechnology I'm talking about. And youth with lots of internal, storms, I must say, aspirations, anxieties, trying to see the world from the perspective of media, and unlike earlier, unlike in our times, we always try to see world from the perspective of our family members, of our elders, because media was not that much glorified, it was not that much accessible, that at that moment of time. Now everything is media, everything is social media, everything is new media. Tremendous convergence, I must say, tremendous convergence is there. A single smartphone gets you access to every damn thing, right from good things until semi-porn to porn. Therefore, pornography, drug abuse, illicit trafficking, new ways of earning, new ways of getting money, overnight, dreams of becoming rich overnight. And I must say, big, untouchable, and equally unneeded dreams, plus the company. It is no longer the fact that's why I say things have changed, friends. It's no longer the fact what we used to say in the Indian context, Amir Baap ki bigdi aulad. It's not like that. It is now Madhyam Varg ke log और उनकी शरीफ बिगड़ी औलाद. See how the transition, a unique and a strange transition has happened over a period of time. From Amir Baap ki bigdi aulad, and in right from 70s, it used to be Badmash Gunda Mawali. See the transition. From that Badmash Gunda Mawali, usually labeled through being a drug addict, then to the present day, there is a hell of a difference. From that Badmash Gunda Mawali to the contemporary times, now we have a strange combo. I am not sure about Amir Baap ki bigdi aulad riches now. Now even there are suspicions, people have been caught, there are n number of examples, right from I must say religious contexts, rich culturally rich families, so-called khandan and all that. Who are these new guys, new addicts, and from where they are getting it all? These new addicts are not Amir Baap ki bigdi aulad or Gunda Mawali Badmash. No. Transition is unique in itself. It is pretty strange. The new transition is, as I said, Sharif Khandanon ke, Sharif माँ बाप के, not बिगड़ी हुई औलाद, again Sharif मगर बिगड़ी हुई औलाद. So sharif drug addicts, sharif addicts who now wear a mask of what? Sharafat. And it's not that symptoms are there and they are being caught, they are being nabbed every now and then. It's not like that. No, they are taking it. They are taking it secretly. They are getting it secretly. The transportation is, tremendously intelligent. They are, befooling everyone in their way, even their parents. Their parents have a different impression about them. They feel they are religious. They feel they are sharif. They feel they are hayadar and all that. But the reality is very brutal. Reality is very ugly. These guys are sharif addicts. The problem is in the family. The family either over-regulates or doesn't regulate at all. This balance, this fine balance is not being maintained now. Either you trust your ward, either you trust your daughter, and trust blindly and completely without any restrictions, because you feel it's a modern age and you need not to regulate anything. And they are kids, they are better than you, they are good at computers, they are good at smartphones, therefore they are the best. And you are going to, you rather trust them blindly. This is where it starts deteriorating. This is where they outsmart you, they start befooling you, they turn tricksters and start learning the tricks of the new trade, that is addicting or getting addicted to drugs. Celebrating a day and speaking in seminars has been a ritual, and this ritual, the definition of ritual itself, when we say, is that it gets repeated over a period of time. At a particular time it repeats itself. Therefore, don't get enticed or don't get too much excited when it comes to celebrating the ritual of drug addiction and anti-drug addiction measures, and listening to the speeches or listening to some big people, some policemen, some cops, big cops, bureaucrats speaking on the issue. It is your responsibility to nab it in its very bud. That is family. And in the family itself, it doesn't start as drug. It starts as breaching the family discipline, breaching the family ethos. दोस्तों, यहाँ पे उर्दू में एक बात कहना चाहूँगा. एक होता है बच्चे पालना और दूसरा होता है बच्चों की परवरिश करना. There is a hell of a difference between the two. Hell of a difference. बच्चे पालना, just rearing kids, upbringing of kids. Rearing and upbringing of kids are two different things, friends. I feel pretty sad to see the state of affairs going on now when it comes to youth, when it comes to teens. तेरे सूफे हैं अफरंगी, तेरे कालीन ईरानी, अल्लामा कहते, मगर लहू मुझको रुलाती है जवानों की तनासानी. और ये इकबाल जिन्हें शाहीन कहता है ना, वो शाहीन क्या कर रहा है? या तो वो किसी क्लास बंक करके वो किसी पार्क में बैठा है, या कोई लड़की बैठी है, अपना कीमती वक्त, अपना करियर जब बनाना था तब वो बैठे हैं कोई पार्क में वक्त ज़ाया कर रहे हैं, या उनको घर से बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे मिलते रहते हैं, एक तो उन्होंने रोमांटिक लव में चले गए हैं वो लोग. अब उनको लगता है कि वेब सीरीज़ ही दुनिया है. दे फील वेब सीरीज़ और ये जो सिनेमैटिक पोर्ट्रेयल ऑफ लव, रोमांटिक लव, दिस इज़ व्हाट द रियल वर्ल्ड मीन्स टू देम, विच इट इज़ नॉट फ्रेंड्स. जो नहीं है, हकीकत कुछ और है. And definitely everyone realizes this sooner or later. But believe me, when one realizes this, there's nothing left. Opportunities are gone. जब इंसान ये रियलाइज करता है कि क्या किया उसने अपनी ज़िंदगी के साथ, दोस्तों वक्त जा चुका होता है, वहाँ कुछ बचा ही नहीं होता. And time doesn't reverse. वक्त के साथ बड़ी पेचीदा बात यह है कि इसे हम रिवर्स नहीं कर सकते. तो ज़िंदगियां ज़ाया हो रही हैं ड्रग से, और इसमें नए प्लेयर आ गए हैं, शरीफज़ादे, कमीनज़ादे नहीं, शरीफज़ादे इसमें घुस गए हैं. वो उसे टेस्ट करना चाहते हैं. बिकॉज एंग्जाइटीज़, उन एंग्जाइटीज़, वो किस तरह वो एंग्जाइटीज़ एक गलत रूट पे चली जाती हैं. वसीम साहब हैं हमारे साथ, दे विल वाउच फॉर दिस स्टेटमेंट. वो एंग्जाइटीज़ इसलिए चली जाती हैं गलत डायरेक्शन में, बिकॉज उन्हें एड्रेस करने वाला कोई नहीं है. कश्मीर में मुझे खुदारा बताइए, डू वी हैव अ ट्रेडिशन ऑफ getting to see our kids, or consulting psychologists, or arranging meets or meetings of our kids with psychologists, our teens with psychologists. By illness we mean, कश्मीर में बहुत बुरी बात है कि खदीजा वेलकम एसमेज वेलकम, रैच सना वेलकम, इश्तियाक कादरी, सबका I welcome you all in this live segment. Today is on, as yesterday we celebrated the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking on 26th of June. And now I'm literally bored of, celebrating the ritual, just celebrating something for the sake of celebrating. That's the problem, friends. Because the problem lies there. The pathology, this social cancer, this terrific social pathology lies there. And more youth, Sharifzadeh, are joining this mess. And nothing is being done. They are joining. They are getting good money, good disposable pocket money from families. It is being given without regulation. It's being given without checks and balances. That's why the mess is before you. On the other hand, the 24/7 smartphone, media access, web series, and all these applications now, right from Netflix to, I don't know the names, Alt, and you have Sony Live, you have many more. This access, today's biggest crisis is over access, I must say, easy access to terrific media. Today's crisis for youth is not lack of access, but over access, friends, to this problem of convergence, wherein you get access to every damn thing from a single smartphone at a single point of time. It's easy. Drug abuse must not be seen at its face value. It must not be seen pretty superficially. And the solution, friends, doesn't lie in the fact that drug de-addiction centers may open. It's not the solution. It's never the solution to treat someone when she turns into a ferocious, terrific addict. That's not the solution. To take someone is the last stage. And treating someone at the last stage is not the solution. is not the remedy. Doesn't qualify to be defined as treatment. It's not treatment. The treatment, social treatment, lies right from the family until peer group to school to college to media. Is any of these institutions, barring religion, I have seen clerics preaching not to take drugs. I salute them. It's a great thing. They are doing it at their own level, and they have to preach, and they are preaching. They are preaching amply. But who is going to listen to them? Are we really religious? It is a bigger question. We need one full session on this. Whether are we religious? And has religion turned into a literal ideology, poisonous ideology? Well, that is a separate question. We will deal with that at in the next session or at some point of time in the future. But any of these institutions, barring religion, is I question you, is anyway responsible? Taking any responsibility for the mess that it has created? No. Media has created a super mess. The mess that cannot be wiped out so easily. The mess that has been created by today's media, new media, web series culture, nudity, semi-porn, porn, pornography, and the culture of smoking. Then, smoking drugs, or I don't know how they do it. It is shown in films, taking some card like ATM card or debit card, and I don't know, swallowing, or I think the breathing, I don't know what to call that, sniffing it like that, through their nose and all that. Where have we landed? Where has the man landed in 21st century? We are living in a dilemma. Friends, the people who have created or who are creating disastrous things that can wipe out the humanity from the planet are getting awards. Weapons, modern weapons, bombs, terrific, anti-humanity things are now defined as inventions and discoveries and path-breaking ones, breaking news discoveries and inventions, and the scientists are lauded, scientists are awarded and all that. But it's all anti-humanity. Someday, as I have been literally saying, that nuclear non-proliferation is just an idea. Someday, someone like Putin has been doing, since many months now in Ukraine, and the world is a mute spectator, just watching, just sending some grenades to Volodymyr Zelensky, sorry. Therefore, at some other stage in future, someone will really can use nukes. Some madman around the world can do it. Because when the thing has been prepared, when it is somewhere, it will be used someday. Therefore, I don't laud the scientists. Science today should be rather redefined. Because, ironically, the people are being lauded, awarded, revered by the community so ignorantly, so unconsciously, without knowing iota of the fact that the new creations are nothing but anti-humane. All the new creations, including drugs, and whole of this peddling trade round the world, is nothing but killing humanity in installments, killing humanity slowly and gradually, killing the future of the planet youth, slowly and gradually, wiping out, breaking families across the globe, creating an army of deviants, drug deviants, juvenile deviants, and creating monstrous juvenile delinquency, creating and shaping new criminalities. New invisible criminalities, I must say, that are literally and definitely going to create havoc at some point of time in future. Because as I said, there is a sea of a difference, and you will take my point when you realize it. There is a sea of a difference between just rearing kids, rearing teens, rearing sons and daughters, and upbringing. Upbringing is the word. Upbringing is the key in the Hindustani or Indian lexicon called parvarish. This is the key word, friends. More and more youth are entering the trade, drug trade, and trade trafficking, and rather, consuming drugs. They are in the abuse itself. Therefore, an unending mess. Regulatory authorities are doing their, job. It's defined as duty. Someone is in the anti-narcotics department, and they are doing well. Their job is to catch the consignment, to seize it, to arrest people. It's being done at airports. It's a ritual. It's an exercise. Daily routines being we get examples. A citizen from Nigeria was today caught at Delhi International Airport, and a drug of worth 15 crores was seized. It's fine. And it will continue to be as such. It will continue. The news will continue to be so. But we have nothing to celebrate. I am saying this with full conviction and with full authority that we cannot call these success stories to catch, or seize some drug at airports, or from a truck, from a taxi, from a car, blah, 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 is not a success story, friends. Drugs, illicit trade, trafficking, these are secondary things. These perpetuate, these proliferate, these expand, these increase with the increase in drug consumers, abusers. Trade and trafficking will be all-time low when there are no abusers, when there are no consumers or less consumers. But the trend is different. There are more and more consumers getting added day by day. Therefore, an unending mess. Who is responsible? Family. As I said, parvarish, socialization, upbringing, tarbiyat, and family regulation. Parenting has a role, friends. It has a tremendous role. Are parents conscious of these things? Are they regulating their daughters? Are they, keeping an eye on teens especially? Are they engaging these teens? No. See, I am not just maligning teens or, trying to demonize teens here or youth here. No. There are a number of families wherein youth, experience that they have no say at all in the family. There are youths feeling distrust. They are feeling depression. They are in acute depression. due to joblessness and all that. There are a lot many tensions. There are a lot many anxieties to tackle with. They are fighting at their level, but sometimes it gets out of control. Then they feel vulnerable. They are quite vulnerable for such things. Therefore, is parenting doing its job? Is parenting really, say, advocate now in the Indian context, in my motherland, Kashmir? Is parenting enough? Are parents literally doing their job as parents? Are they realizing that parents do have a role when it comes to drug? But telling you of my context, in my context, we do have, a strange social habit. We castigate others' kids. We brand or label and negatively label and stereotype others' kids, other sons and daughters, and treat our own kids as holy, solely and holy. And the second difficulty is we over-regulate. These are very technical things, friends. Over-regulation is a big disaster. When you over-regulate, you snatch their freedom to express, freedom to share their anxieties, their stress with you. My way or highway approach in families, hard parenting, cruel parenting, authoritative parenting. Again, a disaster. And when you love more and love blindly and keep giving money, the money gets accumulated. Now they have a purchasing power. These teens buy things. Therefore, creating a fine balance, creating an environment of what we call upbringing, not just a rearing, not just making them eat and drink. Creating an environment of tarbiyat is important. And within the community, this tarbiyat can well be instilled in youth. This tarbiyat can well be imparted in youth through darsgahs. The kid or the teen is at college, at school during the day. In the evening, as a parent, you have to send him, her to a religious institution, to a religious cleric, to someone who understands the vistas of your religion, understands and rightly interprets your religion. And there are ethics classes needed. You have to talk to your children. Talking to them is very important. That is now the next disaster that's happening in Indian family, to the families globally rather, that everyone, even when they sit together in the family in the evening or at the dinner time, they are usually scattered. Four people, four corners of the house, and all are using their smartphones, all are texting and talking, but they are not talking among themselves. There is no exchange of, there is no communication now in the family. That's a bigger disaster. Everyone feels isolated. Everyone feels individualized. Everyone feels a sort of instrumentalization in everyday life. Everyone feels he's alone now in the world, and he has all to do for himself, and he has to think for himself, he has to create for himself, he has to work for himself, everything for himself. Quite individualism, strange sense of individualism that's growing up around the globe. There are some non-Indian friends, there are people from Africa I love. Let me tell you with all my conviction, firm conviction rather, that drug de-addiction centers or anti-drug measures like giving medicines, hospitalizing these addicts is not the solution. This is not going to work. It is not working. It is a time-tested now method now. It's not working. It has not worked in the past as well. It's not working because family has forgotten, literally forgotten its role. Extended family has forgotten its role. Even when they come to play that role, they don't know how to play that. The advocate role is not being played. Castigating a teen or castigating a youth, young mind is not the solution. Ridiculing youth or naming and shaming youth for any such act is not the solution. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. It backfires even. The situation aggravates. I know ample number of cases where castigating, naming and shaming backfired. It further deteriorated the situation. It further made matters worse. When you have or when you come across such a case in family, you have to employ empathy first. Are we doing that? We are not. Right from Africa to India, friends, tell me honestly, are we doing that? Are we trying to put our feet into the boots of that so-called abuser, so-called drug addict? Are we trying to empathize with them? Empathy is lacking. Labeling is on, stereotyping is on, negative labeling is there, negative stereotyping is there, naming and shaming is there, excommunication is there. Throwing them out of the clan is there, throwing them out of the family is there, throwing them out of the tribe is there. We do everything that's bad. We do everything that's not needed. We do everything that we shouldn't do at all when it comes to dealing with drug addiction. Sermons won't work, friends. As I said, let family get responsible. Let family realize its role once again. It has honestly forgotten, ignored its role. Rather, ignored its role, I must say. And it is a criminal ignorance of family today. In institutions like friendship is aggravating it more. A friend is not asking one another friend, but getting lured instead. Friends are not doing that role. Peer group is not doing its role. Even they are doing reverse roles, negative roles. The clan, whole extended family is doing nothing but castigating it. They are literally castigating each other. They are maligning, one is, someone or drug addicts or, prospect addicts, repo in the family. That again makes things worse. It's happening. It's happening right from Kashmir to, Uganda. It's happening right from India to Kenya, right from India to Ethiopia. I'm saying again with full conviction that let the basic institutions take the charge once again. The ample and final solution to the problem of drug addiction is let the basic institutions, let the parenting be responsible, let the parenting be advocate, let the family play its advocate and needed role, much needed role today. Let the cinematic portrayal, friends, let the cinematic portrayal be genuine, reasonable, rational, environment friendly, community friendly, family friendly, rather than glamorizing drugs, rather than, making drugs a matter of, bromance and romance and excitement in web series, the new media trend. Because nudity and smoking, nudity and drugs, it is a new nexus. It is a new criminal nexus. There is a friend, Hamdi Few, maybe from Africa. What are you doing? Hamdi, brother, I am a sociologist based in Delhi, India. I work in a central university here. And what I am doing, if you mean in that context, what I am doing to, curb the problem of drug addicts, I am doing a fundamental role. The fundamental role is I'm taking charge of my family responsibly. Very responsibly, I'm taking the charge of my family. That I know all the people. I know all my brothers, all my in the extended family, all my sisters. I have an eye on them. I know what are they doing. I am responsibly keeping an eye on them. That's my role. Let all of us play the same role. That's what is needed at the moment. Not drug de-addiction, not heavy medicines. Because you don't have to cure someone when he has turned into a furious and an end stage addict. That is a gone case. You have to nip the evil in the bud. That must be the formula. That must be the funda. Let all of us, right from, I'm proud of youth of Kashmir. They are doing well in all the sectors they have been in and they try in. This sector is left, friends. Let me tell all my Kashmiri brothers, sisters. Let us take this basic fundamental charge of parvarish, not just palna, parvarish and tarbiyat in families. The tarbiyat, concept of tarbiyat is important. For my African friends, let me translate literally it into an educate upbringing, value-laden upbringing, I must say. That is full of ethics and values. These values matter. And where you go valueless, you go delinquent. Where you go valueless, you grow unethical. And where values don't matter, you go to phone, you go to watch everything, you go to do any damn thing because you lose value. Value is for keeping. Value should be there always. You should not lose that value. Value must not be something useless when it comes to your own sense of perception, sense of self, sense of being. I have gone too far and as lecture is extended much. Let me put a crux and let me say with all humility that instead of branding, stereotyping, labeling these people, whosoever we know is taking, let us employ empathy and our fine sense of wisdom and provide them every possible help we can to get rid of this. And let parents take charge, let they check and overcheck the extra disposable income and what their kids are buying, what are they doing, where are they going, they must be knowing. I don't mean over-regulation here. Over-regulation doesn't mean not listening to the child and not letting him express himself, herself, etc. No, I don't mean that. But things must not be wavered at all. Things must not go haywire at the end of the day. Because parenting is what matters. Positive parenting is what matters. And, let us clear a confusion here, basic confusion. Parenting doesn't mean I have my brother here online. His name is Sajid. Parenting doesn't mean his father will have to keep an eye on him. As an elder brother, I too have a charge of a parent, a guardian, someone one who has to be responsible to see. Therefore, let family and extended family take a sympathetic charge. Let community take a sympathetic charge, empathetic charge rather. Let us feel the pain of these addicts. Let us feel what is ailing them. If whosoever is taking it, let us get to the roots. The problem of not getting to the roots is the issue. The problem of not, understanding the pulse of the problem, pulse of the drug addiction problem, whether it is Kashmir or Kenya. We are not getting to the pulse. We are issuing commentaries. As I said, we are maligning and demonizing, literally demonizing addicts, literally demonizing youth. Even I have seen situations wherein, very well-to-do, very, I must say, sharif, good guys have been labeled as addicts, which was not the reality. Therefore, don't label anyone out of nothing, out of vacuum and out of blue, I must say. Farooqi Saab, welcome. We have an extended lecture. I just wanted to quit, but putting a last word here. As I was repeating and repeatedly saying that let family and extended family and parenting and positive parenting take a lead role when it comes to drug addiction. Let us follow the formula of nip the evil in the bud. The bud lies in the family. Because drug addicts don't come from vacuum, friends. They come from families. They are among us. They are us. In fact, they are us. They come from families. They have fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, others. They have not just landed from Mars. They are not aliens. They are humans. And when they are not aliens and are humans, they must be treated humanly. And in case we have one in the family, let us deal with that with all, empathy, with all fine sense of, wisdom and judgment, and with all adequate treatment. And let us see what ails youth. The biggest problem today is, providing or offering every time a cosmetic approach to a problem. Every time a cosmetic approach. And seeing a problem superficially. Seeing a problem, or any problem rather, as a medical problem. There is a medical model of medicine. There is a medical model of health. There is a medical model of disability, for that matter. And we forget, we entirely neglect to see the social model of things, which is the crux, which is the problem. It is from where the real evil evolves, from where the things go haywire and out of control. Again, the last statement will be, let the institutions, basic institutions of the society take charge. Let family take a charge. Parenting take a charge. Friendship take the charge. Responsible charge. Responsible, empathetic charge. If we have to wipe out drug addiction round the globe, your hands will get dirty. You don't have to play individual. You don't have to play alien. You don't have to play instrumental. You don't have to play selfish. You have to play your role. You have to get into the core of the problem, to understand it first. Because when you understand it, half of the solution is there. Half of the problem is over when you understand a thing. Understanding anything is important. And that understanding matters. Because People have been providing solutions without understanding the problem itself. This is happening in research. This is happening in n number of problems and issues around the globe. Offering solutions without understanding the problem. This is the problem itself. This becomes rather the biggest problem itself. Drug addiction around the globe has been defined in an ugly way, in a bad way, labeled rather. Drug addiction is rather, let me reiterate it here, it's not defined, it's labeled every time, stereotyped everywhere. It is named and shamed everywhere. Let religious clerics, as I said in the beginning, they have been playing their role, but let them add a bit weight to their arguments. Let them not, castigate from the, minarets or from the, upper chairs of the mosques or temples or churches. Let them not order things. Let them ask the community to understand it first. They have a role, they can do it. Let the doctors not just tell society, medicos, tell the society that it is a medical issue. Let them inform the community that it is a social issue. It is purely, holistically, solely a social issue and should have a social solution. If it is evolving out of family, out of broken families, out of stressful families, out of irritational families, and out of, families wherein people don't understand each other, wherein, economics takes over emotions, wherein money matters than the blood. If it is evolving from there, let people understand that this is the right time, this is the high time to take the charge. Charge of what? Empathy. This is how it can be tackled. Let friendship, the institution of friendship, realize its basic duty, realize its basic role. But in turn, what's happening? It gets more perpetrated and perpetuated, it gets more proliferated through friends, through circles. And let me end this talk on the concept I began with. That was from Kunda Mawali Badmash stage, way back 70s to 90s Amir Baap Ki Bigdi Aulad, to today, Sharif addicts from good families, addicts from reputed families, addicts from good parents, and Sharif Gharanas. They are there. We have to tackle it because we have to take the charge. Take the charge, things will be solved. It will take time. It cannot be solved overnight. I understand that. We all understand that. But empathy is the key. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for joining. Thank you for joining.